And with that, we go to the phone. On the telephone, we've got Canute Ellis, audio engineer, technical director, songwriter, producer, and guest this morning. Hello, sir.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
We are fine, and we are particularly fine this morning because we get to fast in your business, Canute. So I forgot to add the title before the audio engineer. Grammy-nominated audio engineer. Gosh, and with your career, that's what, about 2 decades thereabouts?
Yes, about 23 years, yeah.
Oh boy. Well, let's find out about that career. First, where are you from, Canute?
I'm originally from Jamaica, born and grew in St. Mary, and came to Kingston in my adolescent years, and been living in the U.S. for the last 12 years.
Okay, so let's figure out the music direction and when that started for you.
Yes.
What was your influence when it came on to music? Your earliest influence that you remember?
It would be probably when I was a little child, when I was probably about 8, I fell in love with music. My dad used to be a collector of vinyls, 45s and LPs, and I used to see him set it up on weekends and you know, just playing music. And so I was always reading the jackets right beside our component set in our living room, and just falling in love with the artwork on the jackets and just how music was put together. Some of the early influences were Quincy Jones, Barry Gordy, and a lot others. I remember seeing some vinyls that I was fixated on, which was the Commodores and Barry Hammond. And in later years, when I started doing audio, I ended up working with those two and many others that I've seen in the collection. So those were like, you know, like wow moments, you know, sitting with the Commodores and going, wow, I never knew that I'll be sitting here doing audio with you guys, and I was sitting at home in Jamaica looking at your vinyls. And so those are some of my early memories and influences with the music.
And that's a perfect example of when we say full circle. You started looking at it, and then you came back to be a part of helping to make that music happen for the group. So let's follow the path. Daddy, as a child, exposed to music in that way, was that something that you studied moving through school?
Not really. My mother wanted me to do piano classes, and I think I did a couple, and it was so hard. And I did some form of art in school, and then when I got older, I really fell in love with just music. It just came natural, because you're on the island of Jamaica. You're gonna hear music. You're gonna hear the influences. I then studied at CPTC when I was told I needed to find something this summer that I needed to do, and I saw an ad, a CPTC ad on the television, and there was B-rolls of students in the studio.
And technical term alert. There was what of students in the studio?
B-roll, which is cutaways.
What's that?
So there's this, I don't remember if it was a 30-second ad or a 1-minute ad, but there was this advertisement showing students in a classroom inside of a recording studio, and they were saying classes begin at X time or whatever, and I just saw the equipment on there, and I just got fixated on it, and I was like, I want to do that. That's when I knew I wanted to do audio, and I got enrolled, and the rest is history.
What was the hardest part about stepping into that field for you?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think for me, fitting in. My music collection was always eclectic. I was never one, and I hope the Jamaicans don't bash me for this, but I was never one to just be only reggae. Like, my favorite genre is bluegrass and jazz, and anything outside the box, and just kind of just mush up, you know. And even if reggae is in there, like, I love it, but it's not the only love. So I think my hardest part would be fitting in, because I'm a person that is attention to detail, and I would go above and beyond to get the minutiae correct, those little nuances that people are not necessarily paying attention to, but when done right, they are, tickled. I call it ear candy, or nowadays term, they have ASMRs. So things like that, those are the things that was hard for me. So, but now I just embrace me and go, this is me. Jamaica is everything too clean. So it was so hard for me to fit in, wanting to be, running with pack of wolves, so to speak. But then, I'm not that. I wanted to do more. So my path would take me to mixing orchestra, and I mix orchestra like 176 pieces, with 300 voices on stage, and that has to come through clear, as if there's no microphone, no amplification, pardon me, and those things are attention to detail. Hearing a real violin or a real cello or a harp being played, and know how you're gonna mic it, should you mic it, those things is what now I embrace and go, that's what I thought was hard, that's what I needed to get rubbed that way, and then to sharpen my skill, which is now easier.
And that attention to detail is what makes you stand out and has given you opportunities that a lot of other people would die for. So tell us some of those, like, oh my God, you worked with whom moments that you've had.
Oh my goodness, Paula, and this, wow, there's so many. I treat everybody, like from the youngest.
No. Come on. We will be impressed. Call names.
I hate name dropping. I actually do. But from the rock, Sly and Robbie, I remember working with Sly and Robbie from early years. And just seeing how them set up, and just the principle. Lee Scratch Perry, Barry Tubman, Clive Hunt, some of Jamaica's great, Jimmy Cliff, went on tour with several tours with Jimmy Cliff, and just to see how people embraced him all over the world, those are some wow moments.
What is a Grammy connection, Canute?
The Grammy connection is Israel Vibration, and I don't know if some of your listeners would remember this group from 30 years ago. They started out, and they had some challenges. They had polio, and three of them came together and said they were going to do music, one of which has a serious speech impediment, but pushed past that. And still went on the road and singing reggae songs. They've sang songs with Bob Marley and the Wailers and so many other people. And so early years they pushed through and they were touring. Then they wanted to rebrand themselves and resound, and they drafted me to be a part of the engineers team. So Tyrone Downey and I and a couple other Buffy and a couple others came together on the production side. Sly and Robbie was on there. We recorded and mixed their album at Tough Ground. And so second album came around, and they're like, yeah, they have to get the same team again. And so they did an album called Reggae Nights, and I was a part of that as well. And that's what got us the Grammy nomination back in 2000.
Congratulations. That's awesome. We have like 30 seconds, but we know we can find you online. Quickly, where do we look? Canute Ellis.
Oh, it's simple, easy. Canute Neil Ellis, any of the social medias, CanuteEllis.com. My new website, .cultureshock.com, which is going crazy. We started this new content called Culture Shock. It's been going great since May. We've had close to 70,000 views.
Canute Neil Ellis. We'll search for you, and we can search for Culture Shock, and we will find you.
Yes. Definitely.
And thank you for allowing us to find you this morning for this quick chat. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. All the best. Canute Neil Ellis inside the guest room.